So with our gorgeous girl, Miss Sophie, ready, cutie patootie? We're gonna try a little bit with some play. We'll see if she goes for it. I know by the end of the day, they are very pooped out and they have been working skills throughout their whole session. So I wanna see if we can get a little bit of play from our gorgeous gal. So play could also be another great way to build behavior, build comfort. Oh, she says, I'm ready. Build, let's say, some confidence. I didn't mean to touch the mic. So maybe going and doing some play in different new venues, great way to build that new venue as being a safe place to go explore. You ready? Go get it. So I always like to have that sort of start and stop for play. So go get it is go to, of course, go grab the critter. You might have, for example, are you ready as your precursor? And then you might have your give or drop or out for letting go. She's like, this is the greatest day ever. Whoosh. So we'll say, you ready? Go get it. She's like, hold up, I thought there was going to be more food involved. If, for example, she gets a little tired, she may not go for the toy as readily. Oh, she's thinking about it. Maybe some water time. You ready? Go get that bad boy. Whoosh. She's like, oh my gosh, so fast. Don't worry, you're going to catch it, I promise. Good catch. So we don't want to make play so challenging like the recalls or any skill building that they don't. Good job. You brought it all the way to me. What a smart woman. Here you go. You want to try one of the chickens? So if you're finding with play, it's so challenging, your puppy doesn't even want to play with you, make sure that, again, the whole concept of like winning and like you always being the one that ends the game or starts the game, that's great, because then you want to be the one that kind of helps her go in and out of that excitement. But I wouldn't make it where, for example, your puppy doesn't get to gain the toy. So some people have this concept where they've been taught that, you know, if the dog wins at tug, they're becoming more dominant and they're going to become, you know, the president or whatever. So remember, your dog is not a pack animal. They're also not a wolf. And the whole pack dynamic mentality doesn't apply to them because of the fact that they're not, again, wolves. Are you all done with this bad boy? So we may find for her, maybe she wants the handheld tuggies. So when it comes to this concept of your dog being a pack animal, it's not realistic because they aren't. So that's like me using, again, primate behavior. Let's say I picked a baboon and I start acting like a baboon towards you. You might be like, holy cow, this lady's insane, but it wouldn't make sense to you culturally or behaviorally. So the whole alpha wolf thing was also debunked by the same scientists that came up with it, so dominance theory. So you guys may find that, I don't think that's what you guys are rocking, but at times people are told, like when there's trouble, is to show the dog who's the top dog by being maybe more assertive, and that can sometimes be a little bit more gruff. Which could involve like scruffing or muzzle holds or, you know, rolling the puppy over. Those are great ways to terrify your pup and not have them understand that you don't like something. They're just going to think for some reason you are very unpredictable and at times really spooky. Are you a wild woman? So if, let's say she's a little bit of an excitable woman, we might get a little sit. Yes, I'm going to feed her for that. So all 4 feet on the floor. Again, for me, I don't care if a dog is jumping on me. I actually want a dog that's seeming really comfortable and wants to engage with me. If I have a dog that's scared to make a move or to breathe wrong or to look at something the wrong way and waiting for that, oh gosh, moment, that's not kind of the rapport I want to create anyway. So ready, find it. And again, this is not what I'm saying that anybody is rocking, but sometimes people come across the videos and they have been told otherwise. And sometimes it seems like it's working, but it tends to normally be startling the dog out of behavior, not making them feel any safer or more comfortable around that thing. Good job, cutie. She's doing splendid. She's like, I'm over the toys for now. Are you pooped out? What if we tried this friend? So we may find for Miss S, you know, she has little moments where she's feeling it and little moments where she takes a little breather, just like she did in class. She'd work a few skills, take a little pause, rotate through some chews. So when she's here for like the 5 hours, she's of course not working skills the whole time. Neither are the boys. Ooh, we dropped a big one. We'll save that one for later. So we do want to make sure, she's like, that was lame. Here, you can have that one. Those are much smaller pieces. Here you go. So we do want to make sure that when we're practicing, our sessions are short enough where the dog's attention span or comfort range are still there. Sophie, nice name recognition. But if we're starting to lose them, maybe we could lower the criteria and work on something else. So if toys are not as valuable right now for her because she's getting a little tired, we might work a little bit with some look behaviors. So ready? Look. Yes. So eye contact is a great way to help your puppy start honing on you versus the environment. But if a look behavior is only applied when things get hard or challenging, the problem there is your puppy might start to think that every time they ask me for this, something bad is about to happen. So be careful that certain skills like a sit stay don't just happen when they're lunging and barking and seeing something exciting, because then the sit stay might be a moment where they feel trapped. Silly goose, she's like trying to go into the big bucket of water, which I kind of have hanging. But then she's got a little bowl that she could easily reach, but she hasn't quite figured it out. Oh, here she goes. She found the small bowl. Perfect. So for the beauties, I would highly recommend, even for Miss S, I know she's going to be doing the structured play, which I'm thrilled to have her with Sam joining that group. But for a lot of the babes in here, except for Miss JoJo, they're all adolescent puppies going into young adulthood. So for them, you're going to have, again, a lot more little ups and downs. So make sure that at your end, you're staying consistent when at times the environment is very inconsistent. Their emotions or their feelings might be inconsistent. Their bodies are changing. So there's going to be a lot of developmental changes that could also affect behavior and reliability. Nice job. Good girl. She's like, guys, I bumped right into her. You just crashed, but that's okay. So if, for example, and this was her just automatically coming to me from the environment after getting her drink, I may want to jackpot this behavior again to create more value in this thing. So, but if your babes, as they're hitting adolescence, you're noticing behavior change, or even JoJo, as she's heading more towards seniorhood, you may notice that there's more changes from Miss J as well for her comfort range. So always gauge, is the environment driving the behavior that I'm not really loving? And if so, how could I alter the environment or the setup? But if your babe is really having a challenge, definitely don't forget to rule out medical reasons behind behavior change. I had a student that had a very small, cute little Maltese, and they were like, all of a sudden, like, again, all of a sudden, behavior does tend to build, but if it's a medically driven problem, that can seem more like all of a sudden, because it may have all of a sudden sprouted its yucky scenario. So for them, they were like, my pup has really changed his behaviors. He's becoming so much more sensitive and very, very aggressive. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem like him typically. So they eventually did do some medical testing and they ran some blood. And this is why, for a lot of my sensitive dog students, I'm always trying to rule out medical reasons behind behavior too. Because for a lot of dogs, pain or an ailment does drive change in behavior. So long story short, they found out for him he had a really bad tick-borne illness, and that was causing almost like an insane arthritis-like feeling, so a lot of pain in his joints, and that's where his fuse was so much shorter. So ready? Sophie, come. So right here, perfect example, very distracted by the odor in the environment right now, because I think turning into a big girl, with being in season, that will also affect behavior too at times. So if I didn't get her the first time, I'm trying to get a little closer. Sophie, ready? She's like, hold up, I just noticed there's something cool. So Mr. Other B Bodie left one of the treat balls I had out here, and she's a little distracted by it. So let's say I called her those 2 times. So you do not want to keep calling or saying your skills over and over to the point where they lose out on their meaning. So let's say I tried calling her twice and there was no response. I'm going to get a little out of camera shot. So I'm going to try and go right to her. I know you guys can't see me. Ready? But I'm going to try to get her attention. Ready? Find it. Nice. And if I had her failing, I'm not going to keep asking for the same skill if she's not doing well. So what I'm doing is a little bit where I'm luring her with a little bit of my breadcrumb trail. There's some really nice odor up against the wall. Probably like previous morsels may have gotten stuck in the crack. So if you keep repeating a cue or a skill and your pup, for example, doesn't respond, you're losing out on the meaning behind that word. So I would be really cautionary about repeating yourself over and over. I'd recommend, like, for a recall, you try the 1 recall, nothing happens, get about half the distance, try from there. If you know that your dog is physically or mentally completely gone, don't keep asking. So if you find that you're by accident turning into a little bit of a nag, ready, Sophie? So like right here, she's very intrigued by the odors, which could also be a stress signal. So sometimes when puppies, ready, start to have a moment where she's been in this environment all day, but now she's busy sniffing, That can be where you can do displacement. So you take natural dog responses, but they're either exaggerated or seem out of context. And that tends to be, for most dogs, a stress signal. So good job, cutie. But we'll probably call it a day for this lovely lady. She's really doing a stellar job, but I think all the babes are nice and pooped out from their stay. So, but if anybody has questions or concerns, or they're not sure about something, oh, good burp, you can always check in and reach out. But otherwise, we'll call it a day for the beauties. Miss S, you did a very nice job. And we'll see each other again soon in some other options for different programs. I know my neighbors are making some funny noises. We'll do a little find it, and we'll give Miss S a little break. She did stellar today. Smart girl.